Several people said they wanted to hear my thoughts about research and what I think are important topics and what I'm doing. I told someone that reminds me of the first time I was invited to give a dinner speech at a conference, and I was quite proud of myself. And I went bragging about this to everyone I knew. So I made the mistake of crowing about this to John Ingersoll, and he said, well, that's what they ask you to do when they don't want you to give a paper. That brought me down to earth very fast. So here's what I think about research. I think research is all about your taste. And the quote is, your taste. It's not anyone else's, and it's certainly not anything you do because you think other people will like it. If you don't like it and you're not interested in it, it's just plain a waste of your time. You do research because you like to do it. And if it doesn't interest you, I don't think you will like doing it. If you do it as a means to an end, like getting tenure or getting a job in industry or something like that, then stop doing it. Just stop it. Research is hard work, and if you're really not interested in it, then it's a waste of your life. Quit and try your luck in industry. You'll probably be a lot better off. Or quit and do something else. Do anything else. If you're doing it because you want to get tenure, then that's completely misguided. Because the terrible thing about that is if you get tenure, everyone will want you to keep doing it, and you don't like it anyway, And you could say cynically, well, I won't do it, I've got tenure. But that doesn't work. You're surrounded by a collection of people who are angry with you because they gave you tenure and you're not doing what you said you would do, Doing what you want, doing what interests you, is all that matters in research. It's a demanding hobby. That's the way to think of it. You don't build model boats. You don't play and listen to music unless you like to do it. And if you don't like it, get another hobby. That's why I do it. I do it because I like to do it. And to tell the truth, I don't really care what you think of it. And it's really very selfish. A good friend who's in the audience today once said to me that the best part of my papers, and he was a sophisticated fellow, I won't say who it was, were the introductions and the conclusions. And he thought he was twitting me. But I actually was quite happy with the assessment. The introduction is where you talk about why you think the topic is important. Besides, if I did a good job, my history teacher would be proud because my history teacher taught me how to write. And so that was very good. So I think I'm very proud of a good introduction. The conclusion is where you discovered what you did. You tell what you did and how you did it and discovered. What else is there? The stuff in the middle is just to make sure that you told the truth. It says that you did what you said you'd do in the introduction and you actually did it. It's just due diligence. That's for accountants. That's not for anyone else. I could go on, and these are things they're interested in, and I'm writing about some of these. It would be nice if you were interested in them too. And we could talk about it. But I don't care if you are, because I am. I don't want to hear what you think of what I'm doing, not because I don't want to please you, but simply because I do want to hear what you think about it, but not because I want to please you, but because you might have some good ideas that can help me. As for what you're interested in, I want you to tell me so that I can learn about it and maybe see if it interests me too. But don't tell me that what I'm doing isn't interesting and I won't say it to you. You don't know if it really is, and all you can really say is that it doesn't interest you. And all that matters is that it interests me. So as I said, my research, I'm very selfish. Now, one last point that's a really peculiar point. I put some introspection because of this talk into what I do, into my research. It's hard work, and I work on it, as I said, because it interests me. But what's the real reason I do it? And I've had some fairly pathological, senses of why I really do it. Obviously, there's competition, there's desire to win and to get ahead, and the self-delusion of a humanitarian urge to expand knowledge. I think that is truly gibberish. But years ago, when I was on sabbatical in London, I think I had a glimpse of my real motivation. I went there with an agenda to work on some vexing problems, and given the simplicity of the CAPM, there was great curiosity about the exact requirements for doing mean variance analysis. Did the distribution have to be normal or something like that? That's when I came up with the separating distributions, which sort of had a life of their own and were interesting. Often questions have uninteresting answers, but this answer was interesting because it suggested a role for mutual funds. Did I then write it up? Did I rush to tell people? No. Here's what I did, and this is the pathology. I spent 3 weeks walking around London basking in the knowledge that I knew the answer to a question that other people wanted to know and didn't. You know? Isn't that sick? You know. Brother, I would look at people in the street, and I would go to the London Business School and talk to people, and I wouldn't even talk about it because I knew that they didn't know the answer, and I did, and I felt really good about that.